Teams that once stumbled through a miserable 14-win season aren't supposed to rise out of the basement and start a year 13-2. They aren't supposed to rattle off 11 straight wins. They aren't supposed to bully teams physically, impose their identity on every possession, and suddenly become one of the most intimidating defensive units in the entire NBA. But somehow, almost impossibly, that is exactly what Detroit has done. And they've done it while missing Cade Cunningham, Ausar Thompson, Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey, Isaiah Stewart, and even Jaylen Duren at different points throughout the season. Ivey hasn't even stepped on the floor yet, and still the Pistons have kept rolling, night after night, beating teams who look shocked to realize that the former punchline of the league is now punching back harder than almost anyone else. Cade is playing like a superstar who finally found the light switch in the fourth quarter. Every late possession now feels like his personal stage, a place where he's learned not just to survive pressure, but to own it. Meanwhile, Jaylen Duren has erupted with a leap so dramatic that it barely feels real, leveling up from a promising young big into a full-blown interior force capable of anchoring an elite defense and serving as a devastating offensive engine. And somehow, as wild as that sounds, the biggest surprise might be that the Pistons' depth has turned into a weapon. Role players that nobody discussed, players who barely made rotations on past teams, are now shaping wins, shifting momentum, and raising the entire ceiling of the franchise. 2 years removed from being one of the worst teams in modern sports history, Detroit suddenly looks like one of the best teams in the league. At the heart of this improbable run is a defensive identity that hits opponents immediately and doesn't let up. Detroit is the second-best defensive team in the NBA, holding opponents to just 109.7 points per 100 possessions. In the half-court, they're even better, locking teams down with an 89 defensive rating that chokes off spacing, driving lanes, and rhythm all at once. Their fourth-ranked net rating is built on effort, physicality, and an unrelenting commitment to winning every possession. They force turnovers on nearly 20% of their defensive trips, trailing only the Thunder, but in terms of sheer intensity, the Pistons might be unmatched. Everything is pushed toward the baseline. Nothing comes easily. Even the simplest cuts, screens, or handoffs feel like a fistfight. Their length crowds the paint, suffocates the middle, and smothers passing lanes until opponents break their own plays in frustration. Ausar Thompson already looks like one of the best 5 defenders in the world, a teenager who plays defense like he's been studying elite guards for a decade. Cunningham and Jenkins use their size and instincts to erase angles and force bad decisions. Javonte Green brings an almost reckless physicality that creates chaos, sprints, and instant transition offense. And behind all of that fury are Duren and Stewart, cleaning up everything with overwhelming strength, timing, and presence. Detroit's defense isn't just effective. It slowly wears teams down over the course of a full 48-minute game, draining their spirit possession by possession. And when you watch it unfold on film, everything makes sense. A simple deflection becomes a sprint the other way. A chaotic trap turns into an easy finish. A broken pass becomes a runout that forces a timeout. The system works because everyone buys in, everyone executes, and everyone trusts their teammates to be exactly where they're supposed to be. They aren't perfect yet. Sometimes they miss transition opportunities. Sometimes they overextend and leave points on the table. They're not Oklahoma City in terms of precision. But compared to just one season ago, the transformation is staggering. Offensively, Detroit has quietly made massive strides. What used to be their defining weakness, half-court scoring, has become a respectable weapon. They now rank 13th in half-court offense, and the Cade Duren pick-and-roll has become one of the most dependable actions in the NBA. For a team so young, having a go-to half-court identity this early is rare, and it matters even more when imagining how this group could perform in the postseason, where transition dries up and every bucket must be earned. Cade Cunningham is the engine. His numbers, 27 points, nearly 10 assists, and improved decision-making, barely capture the control he plays with. Despite shooting terribly from 3 so far, he keeps dominating defenders with size, craft, and a relentless ability to dictate pace. Smaller guards get buried. Bigger wings get beaten off the dribble. And in fourth quarters, he becomes something else entirely, a closer who calmly reads traps, slices through defensive schemes, and carries Detroit across the finish line with poise far beyond his years. Then there's Jaylen Duren, the most shocking leap on the team. At just 21, he's averaging more than 20 points on absurd efficiency, controlling the boards, erasing drives, and becoming almost impossible to scheme against. He's no longer just a rim runner. He's an offensive hub who can put the ball on the floor, finish through contact, punish mismatches, and make quick, decisive reads in short roll situations. He draws fouls at elite levels, hits his free throws at a reliable clip, and devours any frontcourt player who tries to challenge him physically. Bigs this young rarely play with this level of confidence or skill. Duren is a franchise centerpiece now, not a project, and the Pistons' timeline just accelerated because of him. And all around them, the supporting cast has blossomed. Duncan Robinson has rediscovered his efficiency and become a perfect off-ball threat who bends defenses with every movement. Jenkins, once an afterthought, has turned into one of the most shocking breakout players of the year. Ausar provides winning possessions even on nights where he doesn't score. Bench pieces like Green and Lanier deliver toughness, stability, and smart basketball regardless of circumstance. This is no longer a shallow roster. It's a team with layers, balance, and the ability to survive injuries because everyone can play. So what does all of this mean? Is this real, or is it a temporary high? Based on everything we've seen, Detroit is absolutely legit. Their defensive foundation is built on systems, not luck. Cade's late-game control is unmistakably superstar level. Duren is no longer a future star but a present one. And they still haven't been fully healthy yet, which should terrify anyone in the Eastern Conference. If their shooters stay consistent and Cade finds his three-point rhythm, this team has a chance to push far deeper into the playoffs than anyone expected just months ago. This is a young group playing with maturity, continuity, and belief. The East is wide open. Detroit has time, talent, and momentum. And if they keep improving, this might be the beginning of a multi-year run, not just a surprising season. What they've built is real. What they're becoming is even scarier. And what comes next might reshape the conference in ways nobody predicted. Before you go, let me hear from you. Do you think Detroit's rise is sustainable? Or is this just an early season surge? Who do you believe is the true leader of this team? Cade's control or Duren's dominance? And how far can this young, hungry Pistons squad really go when fully healthy? If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment so we can keep this conversation going.